it is both a safe place and a dangerous place. We must treat this new world order, this new world of COVID, we must treat this new world of COVID, even in our own homes, with a high level of care and
The IOC has grown accustomed to being courted by the different states, but unlike in the past, this relationship can only have to decide between two rival cities after the IOC has grown accustomed to being courted.
Okay, James. I'm going to call you James. Is that okay?
Yep.
James, you have been arrested and you're charged. What are the charges and what's the situation?
When I was first arrested in St Ives, I was arrested for blackmail, which
Is that significant?
that was what they arrested me on originally, which carries a 14-year sentence, and they dropped it down to stalking when CPS charged me. When I was taken to Camborne Police Station, and they dropped it down to a stalking charge there.
Okay. So you were married in the United States?
Yeah, I was married in Grand Rapids in Michigan.
Right. Any reason for that?
It was in the a place called the Amway Hotel. It was owned by another billionaire family who are well known in Grand Rapids, the DeVos family.
Okay.
And
The which family?
DeVos, D-E-V-O-V-O-S, DeVos.
Yes.
And they own the Amway Corporation.
Okay. So the bottom line is that your friends and colleagues, which I recorded for Basic 24, were saying you involved in a number of rituals and all sorts of stuff like that up in Holyrood Castle, or before you went to the United States, and you mentioned this in the Skype interviews.
Yeah.
They're saying, in a nutshell, that you're not the same person that they know when you went to the States and when you came back. Do you want to talk about that?
Well, that's what a lot of people are saying.
What do you want to say about that?
I went through a lot of traumatic events in America.
Can you talk about those events?
There were so many of them.
We'll talk about them.
I mean, it was, you know, I'm trying to smooth things over with people.
It's been suggested that you want to apologise to people. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
Could you say it a bit louder?
I'd like to apologise. I've been under a lot of pressure,
Okay.
especially since I got back to this country, and I'd like to apologise to anybody I've offended. I mean, I've offended a lot of people, obviously.
Now, what do you mean by obviously?
Because I'm being fairly honest. And what I mean by that is I've been with the common people, and I've been with the Illuminati billionaires, and I've been with both sides. Because there's such a big divide in between the two. The two sides don't understand each other at all. Well, they want to, both sides want to attack each other because they don't understand each other. There's no common ground. You know, they want...
Well, we've had a lot of child murders and deaths. The Roman Catholic Church in Ireland, 900, 800 kids ritually murdered and massacred. A lot of children being hacked to death, killed, butchery,
yeah, but
murder.
Why are they doing
I mean,
why are they doing
this is
People
so
don't-
slightly not good.
Yeah, but why are they doing this? People don't understand what's going on.
Well, why? Who's the they?
So yeah, I mean, until both sides understand each other, there'll be no communication. There'll be no common ground. The masses, the common people, want to lynch the billionaires, the Illuminati,
Okay.
And they, in turn, they want to like start nuking them and releasing Ebola and things like that. It's I have to choose my words carefully here.
Okay. Why do the elite, so-called Illuminati, feel threatened that they are concerned in any way?
Because they're scared of being lynched by the masses.
But they're all powerful, you know. How can they stop being lynched? What's the situation?
Well, they don't want they don't want to repeat the French Revolution or something. So they want someone like me to come on and explain or attempt to explain why they do the things they do.
Right, now this is why we're leaping into self-importance and fantasy. I mean, what's the situation there?
Well, they're all pedophiles. But why?
Why, yeah? What is the reason?
Because they're it's a type of feeding, it's a type of vampirism. If they don't do it, they'll die.
I mean, very simply, from what I understand, no species will kill its own young. I think there's some issues with pigs and things.
Pedophilia and child ritual murder is two different areas. There's a reason why they do the pedophilia. There's a reason why they do the child ritual murder. The reason why they do pedophilia is because they need to feed.
So
they need the sexual.
Why do they need to feed? Can you explain those two things?
Because they're not human. They're very old.
What is they?
They're vampires. They need to regenerate their flesh. They need the hormones.
I mean, when people say about vampires, we're talking about the Hollywood films. What do you mean by a vampire? What creature? What are you talking about?
These days, it's a cyborg kind of vampire. You know, a cyborg exoskeleton, but the flesh covering is dead essentially. So it needs to be constantly regenerated. That's why they need the hormones. They need the blood. They need the sexual contact too.
And that is why?
Because they need to regenerate their flesh. If they don't do that, they'll die. Same as if you don't eat, you'll die.
So what element? Does this mean that they can take it from living people that don't die, or I mean, are you talking about dead people that they do what to or what?
They need sexual contact with children because young blood can regenerate you. I mean, that's a scientific fact.
And now when you say sexual contact, that doesn't normally involve blood.
It's both. It's sex and, biting certain areas of the body. It usually starts off by biting and then leads to sexual contact.
And now, have you been involved with any of this sort of thing, or seen it, or?
I'd rather talk about that another time. There's some kind of breeding program going on.
Now,
that's all I know, and it's with the space program.
I've said quite often that that you don't have personally the actual. It's not a criticism. I mean, you're not a webmaster. There's too many other talents involved here. So somebody's running you. I've said this, and you've said no, nobody's running me and things. I mean, what do you say about that? Somebody is controlling or using you for a purpose.
Yeah, there's people involved, like Michael Aquino. He wants me to get certain information out.
What do you want to talk about that information?
Yeah, why is he? He's being accused of ritual child murder at Bohemian Grove and all different places.
Now, who is Michael Aquino?
He's a general in the NSA.
Okay.
He's a doctor, the head of the Templar sect, based in San Francisco. He lived just near us.
And us being the person you're not allowed to talk about. The person
I'm not allowed to talk about. He lived just near us on Russian Hill. But why is he doing that? Why is an intelligent man like that? There's a school of thought that suggests that, we're talking about regenerating flesh here. And this is a necrophilia, this is pedophilia, this is all this. Jimmy Savile, why was he going into the hospitals? Why was he having sex with dying children? Why was he having sex with injured children? Because as he's taking something from them, he's also giving something back to them. That's what certain... There's ideas behind this, you know. You can... You know, sex magic, necrophilia. You can bring the dead back to life with it.
Does that mean you reanimate a body, but do you bring a soul back into it?
You're reanimating flesh.
See, this is what some people have said has happened to you, Michael, James. That you have suffered soul damage. There were people, it's on the YouTube comments that you're being remotely accessed. Somebody is remotely controlling you and they were running you at that thing. You've got the really deep black eyes. I mean, did you have drugs beforehand? Did you have any? I mean, this is what's been said. Something is reanimating you. That you've gone through some.
I've been reanimated. I would not dispute that. Not dispute that. I wasn't on drugs. I was drinking a lot of Coca-Cola and smoking cigarettes. You know, this is all a big sex magic ritual in a lot of ways. It's all about regeneration. It's about the space program.
I mean,
it's about breeding a new army.
Yeah, but if you're going to go to jail,
church,
yeah, my analysis is that this is a deliberate ploy to connect psychically with an awful lot of people for some reason.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And as such, I feel that you're a weapons system and you are being deployed.
I'd agree with that.
And as such, somebody's operating that weapons system and that makes you extremely dangerous.
I'd agree with that.
What is your programming relating to that weapons system? What is your mission?
I'm about to go active again.
What do you mean by active again?
Act on live operations again.
In jail? Kicking a football? Solitary confinement? Maybe being beaten to crap out of because you're, paedophilic child molester, whatever. I mean, things could get nasty in there. Maybe not.
No, I'm about to go live again. There's more to it than just prison. It's already in all the local. It's already in a lot of papers, a lot of mainstream media papers. It's all been slowly, the vampires, quote unquote, of wanting to be known. Say the one thing about Jimmy Savile before I go.
Yeah.
He's taken, but he's given too.
In what way do you mean taken, given?
When he was doing what he was doing, why was he targeting people in hospitals?
I mean, he was running for 40 years plus, BBC, high profile,
running marathons,
positively vetted to do what he's doing, and along with the other numbers, the other people. It's been suggested that the whole rock industry is involved with all this, the whole pop music industry.
You don't just go in to hospitals and start having sex with dead bodies, start having sex with injured children. He's taken, but he's given. He's taken with this hand, he's given with that hand. Because he's able to regenerate by having sexual contact with the sick, by having sexual contact with the dying. He's able to bring them back and regenerate them. So, this is people, before they want to lynch the Illuminati and lynch every pedophile out there, they might want to not have so much knee-jerk reactions to it. And then there needs to be less hysteria around it. It needs to be understood.
Well, if you've got horrible creatures killing children or mutilating them, or as happened at these this Irish home for unmarried mothers, I mean, ritual slaughter of children up to the age of 9, or hacked or whatever it is. This is absolutely diabolically horrendous, beyond any...
Pedophilia and ritual child murder are two separate things.
Explain the ritual child murder.
Ritual child murder. Why is Michael Aquino going out snatching up children and sacrificing them? He's a general in the NSA. He has to make tough decisions. There's something in the underground bases that is being fed by this.
What do you mean, something? A creature? Or what? An energy?
Some AI thing, I think it is. Some kind of AI thing. I don't know every square inch of every underground base.
Yeah.
But
okay, well, essentially...
the reason why he is decided this thing, whatever it is fed with sacrifice. He has to make a decision. Do I sacrifice a child to this and keep it asleep for a month? If I don't, it comes onto the surface and 1,000, 2,000 people could die. So he has to make that decision. His job is national security. His job is, he's been indoctrinated with the greater good. So he has to make the decision. Is it one sacrifice to save 1,000 lives, possibly?
Is this what you feel that you're involved with when you say you're being reactivated and things? For the greater good or whatever?
It's, I'm being military activated.
Have it all. All of the illicit wealth in the world has been tracked by the National Security Agency for the past 15 years. We now know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Wall Street has stolen $100 trillion from Main Street with naked short selling. We also know that Wall Street has laundered $100 trillion in dirty money from trafficking in children and women and drugs and guns and gold. I can never tire of saying that 90% of the people in the U.S. government, the U.S. military, the U.S. intelligence community are good people trapped in a bad system. The secret intelligence community serves the deep state. It does not serve the American public. And CIA in particular has been doing torture, rendition and torture, drone assassination, regime change, helping to start wars based on lies, all because war and trafficking in humans and drugs and so forth are a profit center for Wall Street and the deep state. And once the president gets Benny into NSA and processes 100% of what we have at NSA, we have every single one of you by the balls. You cannot survive this. You have one out. The Truth and Reconciliation out is make the deal, motherfucker, or you are going to die.